So this screencast is directions for the Westward Expansion unit, especially for those of you that are getting a late start on it. Today it is December 8th. We started the Westward Expansion unit on November 30th. If you need to go back and look at any of the directions since November 30th, you just simply click through this slideshow that's found in Schoology at the top of our page. It goes all the way back to the start of distance learning. So if you go to November 30th, today's directions, it has a screencast of each day's lesson in here, and it tells you what we did that particular day. So you get to December 1st, another screencast of a lesson. You can go back and look for anything you need from each day that you have missed. It might also help you to know that when we are reading anything, a textbook, chapter, an article, the reading help is on these pages, and you will just click a link to get the reading help you need for whichever article or reading it is. So that's always in there for you, usually more than once. Here's reading help for the Lewis and Clark article. But all our lessons are in there, so if you have not been at the Google Meets, those are things that you should still be responsible for and watching when you need help. I've explained every day's assignment and given some extra information. Now, where do you get to the assignment? If I have not emailed it to you, you go into this week's schedule and assignments, just like we have been all year, and you open the assignment you need. It's the Westward Expansion Assignments and Map Project. You open the link and you make yourself a copy of the assignment. When it opens, you'll see a page with some directions, and the basic gist of these directions is first you share it with me by clicking share, which you will see in the corner here. Click share, type in my name, and that way I can help you with your assignment because I can find it in your drive. It also asks you to attend your Google Meet lessons each day. If you're not able to get there on time and you miss it, then you click on the recorded lesson and watch it. So that way you get all the directions you need. What we're doing first for this unit is starting a map project. The very second slide of the assignment is the map that you're making. So every slide after this tells you something that you're supposed to do with your map. Your map is always going to be slide 2 right here. So if you look at the date, it says that on December 1st, we started working on getting this map filled in. We need a title and a compass rose, a date when we finish it, the author's name, that's you, that's your name, a legend, which is the same as a key. We need to tell what source we used for our information. So I've spelled that out for you right here, Mrs. Bryan's U.S. Studies Reference Maps. You need a scale of distance as well. So when you come back to your map, here they are, the title, your name, the author, the source, Mrs. Bryan's Schoology reference maps in Schoology. The date you finish it will go here. A compass rose, north, south, east, and west, goes in this box. You may draw that yourself, or you can find one online. But that goes into this box. This is your key, which we'll be working on the whole time. You don't need anything in there right away. And here is your scale of distance already done for you. How do you get these in? You click on the text box icon and you draw text boxes to type in any font, any color, your choice. Okay, you should pause here and do these parts of your map right now. So pause the directions and work on that page. The next page of directions for the map is U.S. territories. I'm going to take this page and move it closer to my map project so they're right next to each other. That makes it easier for me. It says I need to copy and paste the names of these territories onto my map. Now, what if I don't know where they go? Because I look at the map and they go in these boxes, But what if I don't know which is which? That's when I need the resource maps. There is a link to resource maps right here. If I click it, it takes me to these maps. Here's the names of the territories. Here's Oregon Country, the Mexican Cession, the Louisiana Purchase. These are called British cessions. There's one in 1818 right here that even Minnesota is part of. And there's two in 1842, one up here in Maine and one is the tip of Minnesota. Those are all going on your map. So if you go back to your assignment, here it says Oregon Country. I'm going to copy and paste it by clicking the blue box, Control C, back to the map where I push Control V. And that pastes it in place, and I put it right in the box that it belongs in. It just happens that Oregon Country kind of landed right where I needed it. Another one, let's see, the British Cession 1842. There's two of these on the map, it says. I'm going to Control C. And when I looked at that other map, it showed me that these two right here are the British cessions. I'm going to push Control V and I'm going to move that right where I need it, right about there. British Cession 1842. So that's how you do these territories. Click the link to the resource maps to find the answers and then copy and paste each of these onto the map. Now you should pause the directions and do the U.S. territories on your map. The next part of your map is to put Native American tribes. I'm going to take my page again and I'm going to slide it up so it's right under my map because I like them to be really close together. I need to put these Native American tribes onto my map, which is slide 2. I can see all the names of the tribes are on this map. This map shows you where to put them on your own map. So you don't take these and put them over on this map. They're already there. This is your reference map. There's so many of them. I thought it'd be easier to put a reference map right on here. So if I'm going to put the Crow tribe on my map, I got to find it on this map, and I actually see it right here. So now I got to figure out where is that. Here it says it's Montana right here. Here's Minnesota. That must mean that North and South Dakota are right about here. So here's the Crow. I'm going to copy and paste Control C, Control V, and I noticed that the Crow kind of look like they're right about there. And they are really important because they're going to help one of our explorers find a way through the Rocky Mountains. So I want to make sure I get them in the right place right about here. The next one, the Shawnee. I happen to know from watching the video already that the Shawnee met up with Daniel Boone way over here. Here they are, the Shawnee. And this is the state of Kentucky. So that helps me figure out where to put them on my map. So I'm going to Control C and Control V. And I'm going to put the Shawnee by Kentucky where I know they were. Probably right about here. So there's my Shawnee. Are they going to cover up some of my other words? Maybe. So if I just move them a little bit, that's okay. So I can still read what I put in the box before. Now, all the Native American tribes on this list encountered some of our explorers. So I want all of them on my map on slide 2. So you're going to want to pause the directions and put the Native American tribes onto your map. The next part of the assignment, we have 4 explorers that we are learning about. And there's 6 or 7 questions to answer on each of the slides coming up. The first explorer is Daniel Boone. He was in the Story of Us video that hopefully you already watched, the Ed Puzzle video. And here is a History Channel article on him. It's about a page long, and it gives you all the answers to this page. So I will click the link that's always going to be in the title here. Click that, go to that one-page article, and see if I can find the answers to this. How many settlers used his path through the Appalachians? Who used the wilderness path before Native Americans? What it was called, what Daniel Boone found, an important discovery, and what state he helped to settle. Hey, and what Native American tribes he encountered. And then how do you think this is all going to affect Native Americans in years to come? Now, if you have any trouble with this, you want to go back to our Schoology page and find the day that we worked on this. Now, you might have already noticed the dates that we did these are in the corner. This was December 3rd. So if you go back to Schoology and say, I need help reading that, you can page through to December 3rd. And here it is. If you need reading help from the Daniel Boone article, click here. It will read to you and help you find the answers. So that's how you would get the help you need. You can pause and do the Daniel Boone article right now, or you can continue on to Lewis and Clark, which is next. Lewis and Clark has two slides. One is a video. So if you click this, you watch the video, America's Louisiana Purchase. Now, we spent 2 days on this. We finished it on December 7th. We started it on December 4th. So the video is about a half an hour, and you are looking for the questions on here. Why is the Mississippi important? Who was the leader of France when Jefferson bought the Louisiana Territory? When did we buy it? How much did it cost per acre? How large did the U.S. become because they bought this? How much larger? How did we get Florida? We signed a treaty with a certain country and to avoid war. I will tell you that right now. And then it will tell you how many states were formed out of the Louisiana Purchase. Now you can pause here and watch the video and do the questions. Hopefully you have noticed there is no Googling of answers to these. Google doesn't know what's on your next test. So you want to pause and watch the video and do the questions. The next part of Lewis and Clark is an article. And if you click on this, the Expedition of the Corps of Discovery is the article. If you watch the lessons, it'll explain to you why they're called the Corps of Discovery. You'll also see a lesson back in Schoology about Sacagawea and some mysteries around whatever happened to her. Again, you can go to Schoology and page through until you see December 8th. And whoops, I'm going the wrong way, till you get to December 8th. And there is reading help for the Lewis and Clark article and a screencast of the lesson if you missed the Google Meet. So you can pause now and do the questions from the Corps of Discovery article. Now, today is December 8th. If you catch up to this point, you can start attending the Google Meets where you will learn a little mystery about Zebulon Pike on December 9th. There is an article, of course, linked to the title here, his biography, and then you answer the questions about his missions here. The next one is Jedediah Smith. There are 6 questions about Jedediah Smith. He was also in the video, The Story of Us. He happened to be the one who got attacked by a grizzly bear. So this article is from History Channel, The Frontiersman Jedediah Smith. It asks some questions here about him, and you can do that. When you get to the last page, these are things that the students coming to the Google Meets have been doing each day, mapping the explorer's routes. On your map, way back on slide 2, you need the Wilderness and Great Valley roads, and we call that Boone's route in the key. So you use a line to show Boone's route, and you need the Cumberland Gap. What I'm going to do is move my slide, since this is for the map, and I like it to be nice and close to my map. I'm going to move it so I can jump back and forth. Now, Daniel Boone's route actually starts above the Chesapeake Bay, goes down almost the border of Virginia to the tip. The Cumberland Gap goes right here, and then he lands in the state of Kentucky. For the Cumberland Gap, I might insert a shape, a nice simple shape, something like possibly a triangle. Here's my Cumberland Gap, and I know that it's there because I use the resource maps. So there's the Cumberland Gap. When I go to insert a line, I'm going to choose a scribbly line because it lets me draw wherever I want. And I'm going to draw his route. It's going to come down like this through the Cumberland Gap and land in Kentucky. There is Boone's route. Now, in the key, I could leave this black. The line is currently black. I want to maybe put a straight line in my key. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to draw a line that shows that is Boone's route on my map. The Cumberland Gap, I made a little white triangle. I'm going to copy and paste it and hopefully grab it. And of course not, it's going to be a little bit complicated to get here. In fact, it's easier if I make it bigger. I'm going to put my Cumberland Gap symbol in the key. Now I have shown, here's my Cumberland Gap, Boone's route, the symbols match each other, and we're good to go. I'm going to end up drawing Lewis and Clark's route where they follow the Missouri River and then they cut across and they follow the Columbia River all the way to the Pacific Ocean. I'm going to give them a different color line because they're the core of discovery. I'm going to put the line right here and I'm going to give them a different color other than black. If you want to change your line color, let's say you don't like the black, here is how you change your line color. Maybe you want it to be kind of a brighter red color like this. Maybe you're thinking it's hard to see, so you want it to be a little thicker. Now I have Boone's route in this color. Then I got to make sure I change this to the right color. Whoops. I think I used this one. There we go. And now the two match each other. Can I use a dotted line? Sure. You can make a dotted line by doing this. And now there's Boone's route. So that's how you draw the explorers' routes. How do you know where they went? You use these maps. Here is Boone's route, which we call the Great Valley Road and the Wilderness Road. Here's another map that shows you Boone's route. Lewis and Clark, I have several maps you can use, whichever one you think is easier to read. Lewis and Clark's route up the Missouri and across. There, I believe, are 4 maps you can look at for Lewis and Clark on here. Also shows you the rivers you need to draw, like the Yellowstone. This one doesn't have the Snake River on it, but I know that this one does. Here's the Snake River, which you have to draw with a nice blue line on your map. When you get to Zebulon Pike, he has 2 routes, which you can do in the same color. Each one, here's one of them following the Mississippi and one of them going all the way out to Pikes Peak in the Rocky Mountains here, and then down into Mexico and back to Louisiana. Here's another Pikes map. When you get to Smith, I know you scroll down, his is really hard to find. His map of exploration looks like this. The route we're going to draw is just this yellow line on here, and I made it so easy I drew it right for you on here. Here's the South Pass, which he has to go through because he discovered it. And then here is his route. He also traveled the California Trail, the Oregon Trail, the Santa Fe Trail, and the Mormon Trail. Those are all going to go on here, but notice they're all going to be different colors. But those are all his routes of exploration. There's a map at the end that shows you all those, the Santa Fe Trail, California Trail, the Oregon Trail, and the Mormon Trail right there. So those go on your map too. Okay, so you have all the basic directions for this. If you need more specific help, you should come to the Google Meets, but this will hopefully get you started so you at least have this project started. Okay, come to a Google Meet if you have questions. Email me. That works too.